Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude our post-game press conference, we're joined by 49er head coach Alan Major, as well as junior guard Dario Green and sophomore guard Deuce Briscoe. Coach, if you could give us a couple opening comments, and we'll take questions.
First off, hats off to Gardner Webb. I know Coach Holman for a long time, and he's done a great job of putting his team together. And quite frankly, we had a pretty solid first half, even though we had 11 turnovers. But got to the point in the second half where we attached our defensive effort to our offensive output a little bit. And you know, when you maybe don't quite have your full team together like you'd like, you know, our margin for error got affected a little bit. And but the bottom line is we need to continue to be tougher on the defensive end, and that's got to be a staple for us. And we show flashes where we have it, but we need to continue to sustain that. And but I don't want to take anything away from them. Those guys came in, they shot the ball great. And, you know, we got to continue to grow from this, because there'll be a quick turnaround in 24 hours, and we'll have another opportunity tomorrow night to redeem ourselves.
Alan, is there anything you can say about the suspensions?
No, except those guys have, you know, owned up to their responsibilities, and we're just going to move forward from there.
When did you decide to suspend them?
Was that earlier this week? I'd like to get off that subject if we could, if that's all right.
All right, Coach. Can you talk about Colby Lewis's play tonight or today, scrambling for rebounds and shooting well early in the half, at least? Did
Did a great job. I mean, you look at his line. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds. He came in and scrapped, and I thought he gave us everything. You know, he competes every day. He's a great kid, and so you know, very happy with what he gave us tonight.
When you're as short-handed as you are, how does that affect your game plan? And you know, obviously, you know, I guess it changes rotations and that kind of thing.
Yeah. You know, I think it was fine until we maybe got into some foul trouble. You know, with that bench that thin, we committed 24 fouls in the game, and some of that was down the stretch. But I think usually that didn't affect us until we got into some foul situations, and we had to have some unconventional lineups. But you know, we were able to manage it there for a while, and I think once we you know, our defense dropped off a little bit. That's usually what leads to fouls, is maybe not competing quite as hard as we could on the defensive end. But that's an area where we're going to grow, and that starts with myself.
Sorry to ask you about this again, but the situation with those 3 guys, are you concerned, I guess, of needing to set a tone here? Do you think everybody's on board what you want, or is that a concern going in right now?
Yeah, quite frankly, 2 of the 3 were unrelated. Were based on last year, so that's all I know, and that's as far as I can go. So it's more a matter of, you know, guys know what their responsibilities are, and they've owned up to them, and we're going to move forward from there.
Before the game, did you talk about foul trouble and that kind of thing? Was it something that you wanted to avoid?
No, you try not to bring it up, because it's sometimes if you bring it up, then that's, you know, you put it in your mind already. You try to really focus more on playing as hard as you can, as opposed to not fouling. And that stretch there in the first half for about 13 minutes or so, I think they had 13 points at the 7-minute mark or 7.5-minute mark. I thought we scrapped it about as good as we've done. And they had a tough time scoring, and we just let those last kind of 8 minutes get away from us a little bit. But we want to capture that type of effort that we had in that first 13, 14 minutes of the game, and make that become who we are on a consistent basis.
You disappointed you couldn't get more out of Chris Braswell tonight, especially with lack of numbers?
Yeah, and I'm not going to throw the kid under the bus. He had a couple of tough calls, and was out of effort. Wasn't out of lack of effort. It's tough when you're in foul trouble because you don't. If you play, before, you don't get a rhythm sometimes, and you're in and out of the game, and you don't quite feel like you can really get into a flow. You can play a few minutes, you get a couple fouls, all of a sudden, you're on the bench, your body gets cold, you get back in the game, you got to re-warm yourself up, you get another foul. It just gets in your head a little bit. So, he did some good things when he was in there. It was just unfortunate that, the foul trouble kind of curtailed him a little bit.
Dario, how does this loss affect the team, and how in the locker room, like the momentum going into tomorrow, how does that affect that?
I don't think it's going to affect us too bad. I mean, we got to just man up and stay together, and that's what we're going to do. Players just said we got to keep our heads up. We'll be fine. It's a learning experience for us.
Derek, how the team respond to the suspensions and knowing you're going to be short-handed?
I think the team played hard. Like Coach said, there's some lacks on defense, and we let our offense dictate some of our defense, especially me. I let it affect me, and that's it right there.
You should go in thinking that you're going to have to do more offensively.
My main thing was letting it come to me. I didn't know what to expect as far as offensively. To answer your question today, we came in as a team, and our team strategy was just mental toughness. That's what we got to show tomorrow. So we got another game coming up in 24 hours. So we'll be ready.
Playing back-to-back like this is tough enough, but when you're having to play these minutes, how tough is it on the shot?
Don't know the first game. I don't know yet.
Thanks, guys.
Any more questions for these guys? All good? All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.